What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Scripted Kingdom. My name is Pharaoh, and thank you for tuning the fuck in as I tune the fuck in, period. And today, we are tuning into Companion, a 2025 sci-fi thriller horror comedy movie. Yeah, let's get into it. This movie is directed by Drew Hancock and Zach Cregger. Zach Cregger is known for a movie called Barbarian, I believe. I've never seen that movie, but a lot of people are discussing like, oh, he was behind Barbarian and he was behind Companion. Oh, and they're comparing the two, but I haven't seen Barbarian, so I'm not fully aware of that. No shade. But this movie, Companion, does star Sophie Thatcher, and Jack Quaid. Now, Jack Quaid, I know Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid is Huey from The Boys. If you've seen The Boys, you know the main character, kind of nerdy, kind of geeky. That's him. So it stars him and it stars Sophie Thatcher. Now, Sophie Thatcher, who was that? Oh, she was on Heretic, which I've never seen. Heretic? Don't know how you say it. And Yellow Jackets, which I've never seen. And Maxine, which I've never seen. Okay, Scream Queen, wait. So maybe Sophie, that's why the girls was like, Sophie Thatcher's the new Scream Queen. Get into her. I don't really know her like that, but she is the star of this movie. And I do have some thoughts on her performance. So there is that. So, and the ratings for this movie are, this movie has currently a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Girl, I'm making a face because I guess you'll just have to see how I feel about it. No shade. No shade, but yes, high scores for sure. Definitely high scores. Definitely some beautiful gowns. We'll get to that later. No shade. Because how is the score that high? I don't know. But anyways, this movie is about and this is what I got from the promo going into it, that it was about a killer AI like sex robot who starts killing all of the people who are around her, and she has like this fake boyfriend, and the fake boyfriend is pretending that she is real, and then she becomes conscious and starts killing them because she's an AI robot. It's kind of like, artificial intelligence fights back. That's what it's giving, or at least that's what I got from the trailers when I was going into the movie. It was like making it seem like it was going to be very, very gory and a lot of different kills, and she's about to go crazy. And so that's what I was a little bit expecting going into the movie. But honestly, I was going in with I don't even think I've seen the full trailer. I think I've seen like clips of the trailer here and there. So I didn't think I had that many expectations. I still don't think I had that many expectations, but the way I came out of the movie, people are like, well, maybe you just thought it was going to be something else that it wasn't. And I don't know. I didn't really care what it was. I didn't feel like I cared what it was, but hey, we moved. So I was like, okay, boom, I'm going to go on the premiere on Thursday. So that's what I did. On Thursday night, it was like 8 or was it 10? It was 10. It was like a 10:05 showing that I went at. Yes, it was very, very late. So it was after, prime time. And I was the only one in the theater. No, there was one other couple in the theater behind me. It was just me and one couple behind me. And we were the only two people in the theater. And it was kind of a big theater. I was like, hold on, wait. This is a big theater. Ain't nobody in here. And it's a scary movie. I'm scared. So I was like a little bit scared. I get scared easily, y'all. So I was a little bit scared. But we went into the movie theater. We were watching the movie. And it was an ambiance. I was scared. I was ready. Whew. And then we kind of got into what the fuck happened. And it's never no shade. It's never no shade. So I'll get into my non-spoiler review first, and then I'll get into my spoiler review later, and then I'll get into some recommendations because, honey, I'm gonna need some. No shade. So, no spoiler review. It's time to say it. I did not like this movie. And I'm sorry, because clearly a lot of people do. And if you have me on TikTok, follow my TikTok. It's Scripted Kingdom. That's what all my social media is. I'm going to be posting on Twitter and TikTok a lot of my immediate thoughts about some of these movies I go see. On TikTok, I'll walk out of the movie and I'll pull up TikTok and tell y'all what I think because, baby, no shade. I wasn't gagging. I was not gagging. And there was a lot of reasons. But I felt bad because I noticed how many people liked the movie. And so going in, that's another thing I saw before I went into the movie. I saw how so many people were praising it. A lot of people were like, "Ooh, this is a good ass fucking movie. This is the horror movie of the year so far." Well, it's only January, but people were hyping it up. So I thought it was just going to be at least pleasurable for me. When I tell you, I would sat down and I watched that full movie and I was looking straight faced the entire time. I was like damn near bored. I didn't laugh once. I wasn't gagged once. It didn't exude any extreme emotion out of me. Not even extreme, like barely any emotion out of me at all. I was basically just looking at the screen like this. Waiting for something to happen, waiting around for a train to go or a bus to come or a plane to go. Or the phone to ring or the snow to snow. Waiting around for a yes or a no. Waiting who, how, where do you go? Everybody, it's just waiting. Period. Do y'all remember that video? It was like sorry, segue. It was like this video, and it was a teacher, and she had it was a white teacher, and she had black students, and she was reading a Dr. Seuss book, and they were like making a beat to it, and she was like not rapping, but she was Dr. Seussing it up. So she was waiting around for a plane to go, or a bus to come, or a train to go, anyways, that shit was fire. But they're making that Dr. Seuss book into a movie very, very soon, and it's called Looking for Somewhere to Go, or something like that, or Somewhere to Go, or Never Know Where to Go, or The Places We Go, The Places You'll Go, I think. And I think that's the book that it was based off of the movie. But anyways, that's going to be cute and fun. I like Dr. Seuss. Oh, wait, no, I don't. He's problematic. Damn! Everybody problematic! Fuck! Anyways, let's move forward. So I went in and I did notice how many people were talking about how they liked the movie. So I went in, I watched the movie, and it was just not a gag for me. It was just not a gag overall. Now, I think some people had fun watching the movie, and I think it was trying to be a fun movie. It just wasn't fun for me. It definitely had fun ideologies, fun tendencies, but I just didn't have much fun with it. They had like some comedic moments. I didn't laugh at any of the jokes. None of the jokes landed for me. They had some like wacky, like, "Oh, this is so wacky, you should laugh." I didn't really laugh at those moments. They had some quotations like twists, or "Oh, this is a reveal, and this is a reveal, and this is a twist, and this is a twist." I wasn't getting twisted and turned. I don't know. I just was almost like, it wasn't. And this is what I really think is the issue with my perspective of the movie is I wanted it to be a little bit more funny and a little bit more wacky. If they were going to go that route, I feel like they should have went that route fully. And then if they wanted to be a little more serious and have a little bit more meaning, they should have leaned that way more as well. I felt like it was too much ambiguity to how I was supposed to feel. And so I didn't really care about the characters. It was a lot going on, and it wasn't a good type of ambiguity. It was like a bad type of ambiguity. It was like, I don't even know what to feel, and I don't care to feel anything because nothing is set in stone and nothing is consistent. I don't know. It just felt super inconsistent. Even the way they told the story, it's just like, it didn't get me engaged. And that was what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to, oh, you're supposed to want to see what the flashback shows of how she did what she did. And then I didn't really care. So that's the issue. I think they made a movie that I was incapable of caring about any of the characters. And I'm a character person. Now, this is what I will say. I am a character person. If the characters don't feel like fleshed out or something, and it can't just be one, it has to be like multiple different characters giving me something to feel, then I'm not going to enjoy that movie as much as the other person. And I do think the reason that a lot of other people are able to enjoy the movie is because they just went in and they're okay with just having a good time and leaving the theater. They don't really need a character to be eating it up. They don't really need the story to make too much sense. Like, they're just here to have fun. And that's a very respectable way to watch a movie. I want to enjoy movies like that sometimes too. This one I just couldn't enjoy because even if I'm having fun, I still want to care about the characters, or feel like the characters are having an arc, or feel like the relationship between some of the characters have some type of depth. It was a bunch of random strangers to me on this movie, and they were kind of supposed to be a friend group. And it's like, no, this is just a bunch of random strangers. She's a robot. So it's like no one really interconnected with each other at all, especially considering there was not really it's just, I don't want to spoil anything. So let me stop. But it just didn't hit for me. I ended up giving it on Letterboxd. What did I give it on Letterboxd? Hold on. Follow me on Letterboxd, by the way. Like, before I look, I'm feeling maybe it should be either a 1.5 or a 2. Sorry. And I gave it a 1.5. Maybe I could give it a 2. I will say maybe I could give it a 2 because it did it went outside the box, at least my box, because I haven't seen any other movie like this ever. I am a little newer to like getting into movies, so I usually watch like a lot of, basic general movies that everybody's seen or niche stuff here and there. I'm not on the right playing field to really know. But for me, this was kind of new in the sense that I don't really remember seeing a movie about, other than Terminator, okay, about like, this AI killing, because it's like, this is AI. And this isn't from, like, this is a current kind of thing happening in their world. So I did feel like it was a unique idea. I just kind of hated everything else. I'm gonna keep it at the 1.5. I'm sorry. I didn't like this movie. I'm so sorry. I just wasn't gagging. But yeah, 1.5. I would recommend for people to watch it because I'm just one person, and I always want to recommend to watch the movie for the most part. There's some movies I'm like, you're going to just waste your time. This one isn't one of those. I do think you can watch this movie and get a lot out of it, especially depending on how you watch movies. I just feel like if you're someone who does like a character arc or a character story, even in horror or even in comedies, then you're probably not going to love this movie. Or if you're someone who kind of likes a more, I feel like, to me, the storyline was not believable. I don't know. So I guess if you get a little too logical, I don't know who to recommend this to. Just watch it and find out for yourself, matter of fact. Because so many people like it and I don't. So I'm like, maybe I'm the wrong one. Y'all go watch it and y'all have a good time, have a hoot and a holler. I didn't like it. Next, let's get into the spoilers of this movie, okay? Now, usually I do cons first because I usually don't have as many cons. No shade. I have more cons than pros. So I'm going to get into my pros of the movie first. So, first pro of the movie, like I said, I do like the concept. I feel like this could be a very interesting concept of there's this AI robot who's just used for sex and she's a humanoid and she becomes conscious and she realizes that she is not real and then she starts killing everyone. That was not this movie. That was actually not this movie at all. It was way less. She didn't figure anything out at all. It was the fact that the owner, Jack Quaid, who plays Josh, he was the one with all the motivation. And I think they thought that was a good twist. Well, clearly some people thought it was a good twist. I didn't like that was the twist at all. I feel like his motivation had no merit, and we'll get into that later. But the concept was cute if it was the actual concept that it was supposed to be, which I feel like is more so a AI becoming conscious and then whacking these niggas, killing these niggas because they torturing her or playing with her. And you know what? The marketing did fuck it up because the marketing did kind of imply that she was getting tortured and she was getting treated wrong and all of this. Not really. Not really until after she killed somebody, which was like all a plan, all a part of the plan. So I just feel like the concept went out the window. And what it could have been a lot more endearing, at least to me, especially if it had a lot more. And not even her killing them. That part wouldn't have been endearing if it was just, she realized she wanted to kill them. It would have been endearing if she realized he didn't really love her. And so she wanted to kill them. That never really happened. And that's what I was like hoping would happen while watching the movie. That wasn't something from preconceived. I didn't even know how much she would actually love him from the trailers. From the trailers, I thought he was torturing her. She got conscious and she killed him. The part of the movie that I did like was when we realized she has this love bond to her owner. I thought that was interesting. And I thought if they would have made it more of a psycho killer, I'm killing all of his friends because I love him and I want him to be trapped with me, that would have made it more like Misery, which is what I wish it was, like Misery, the movie / book by Stephen King. I wish this was more like that, where she was genuinely the bad guy in a way of I'm motivated by my love for him. To me, that's a way more interesting story, and it has a lot more motivation and it has a lot more weight. And I would care a lot more about all of the characters who died in this movie because I don't care about any of them at all. I don't give a fuck that they died. And if I don't care the fate of the characters, then it's not going to be an entertaining movie to me because I want to care about the fact that they died. Like personally. And I think this is supposed to be more of a, you don't care about anybody, like, oh, she's just killing them all. But she wasn't even killing them all. That's another issue. Like, she wasn't even trying to kill them. And it would be fun. It could work if she was genuinely just trying to kill them, I would be more entertained and it would be more fun and I could give it a higher score. She didn't even want to really kill them. It wasn't even her own merit or motivation. It was Jack Quaid / Josh's. And for a stupid reason. It doesn't even make sense. The story doesn't even make that much sense. And not in a, oh, everything has to make sense type of way. It just doesn't make sense in an enjoyment type of way. I can't enjoy this because I'm confused as to why, like, why is he doing this again? Why does this make sense again? Like, I don't think we know enough about his character or even his best friend. What was her name? Kat, him or Kat. I don't think we know enough about their past to understand their motivation in a way that I feel like we should be able to. As a viewer, I feel like we should understand the motivation that's driving the movie. The entire movie is based around Josh and Kat wanting to murder Sergey and take his money. And I feel like that's an interesting idea if we knew more about Josh and Kat. Josh and Kat are still unlocked characters for me on the movie. I guess Josh is locked characters in the game. Kat is definitely still locked. I guess Josh is unlocked, but I still don't understand Josh's motivation at all, especially after she starts killing his friends. It's like, you don't care that he's killing your friends? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Because why is he so selfish? I kind of need to know that. I need to know that because they made the basis of the movie about him being selfish. If the entire movie wasn't about him being selfish, it wouldn't matter. If she genuinely just started killing them and they still had that motivation in the background, I wouldn't care. But that became the entire movie. So why is he like this? Why is he okay with Kat dying after I just thought him and Kat were like in cahoots? Why is he okay with his other friends dying, but he don't want to shut anybody down? He just really wants the money. Like, I don't know. He didn't become this big villain that I feel like he was supposed to become. Supposed to be like, oh, you think they're the good guy, you think they're the victim, and then boom, he's the villain. He's actually the problem. Uh-oh, he's evil. He wants to cut. It didn't work. I didn't feel that. I was just confused. I was like, what? Why is he doing this? Because he doesn't even feel genuinely like a terrible person until towards the very end for me. Even when he has the motivation to get her to kill someone, she's a robot. So I'm not like, oh shit, he's trying to get, like, murdering someone's obviously bad, but I'm like, even in that moment, I'm like, okay, he's probably in love with Kat. Like, it wasn't clear that he was just pure evil. And then someone just being pure evil is boring. Why is he evil? What's his motivation? Is he poor? Is he broke? Why does he want the money? Like, I don't know. To me, I don't like that. I like when characters have motivation, or at least I can understand their motivation and it can make sense, especially if that character is driving the entire story. That's just me. Maybe you don't give a fuck. I don't know. Now, that was supposed to be a pro. The fuck? Why do I do this? It's like I'm supposed to be talking about a pro and then it ends up at the con. The pro of that, let me wrap that up. The pro was, if the concept was done better, it could have been good. But it wasn't. So I don't even know how that was a pro. I like the I like the idea. Like the idea in the writing room, they had something on their hands. Let me get into the real pro, because clearly that wasn't it. Sophia Thatcher, this is the real pro. Sophia Thatcher, give that girl the Oscar. She ate that shit up. True screen queen. I don't even know her, by the way. This is my first time seeing her. She killed this role. She carried the movie for me. The only endearing part of the movie is Sophia Thatcher. That entire 1.5 point I gave it is her. Because the way that she's acting, so believable. I really believe the girl is a robot in real life. If I see her in real life, I'm going to be like, hello? Iris sleep. Like, I don't know. I'm going to really think she's the robot because she was killing that motherfucking role. And the emotion she had without showing emotion because she's a robot. Oh, she kills it. She kills it. I loved her acting in this movie. 10 out of 10. Give her the motherfucking Oscar. That is the pro. And truly, it sounds like the only one. So let's get into the cons. Speaking of the characters, and speaking of Sophia Thatcher, Iris, I loved the character. I feel like she was very well fleshed out. We got a good motivation from her because she's a robot. We got good she had a lot of emotion. She went through pain for realizing that she's not a real person. She literally had an existential crisis. She was angry about it. She was trying to get away. She really wasn't even trying to kill them. She's still trying to find a life. She's realizing Josh has forced her to be in love with her, and she's not really in love with her, and he has control over her. I feel like that was actually a lot of character development for Iris specifically, and I feel like this movie really developed her character extremely well. My issue is all the other characters. I already got into Josh, Jack Quaid's character, how I don't know anything about his motivation. And same with Kat. I feel like her and Kat, I don't have any of their motivation. And I don't like that at all. It just feels random to me. And that's just my personal opinion, I guess, preference of it. And then Jack Quaid, his acting he's a good actor. I think he's a really good actor, but I kept getting Huey. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's because this genre is similar to the genre of The Boys. It is comedic and it's horror and it's thriller and it's a little sci-fi. I feel like all of that has similarities to The Boys. So his character still he reminds me of Huey every time I see him. Also, his face is so like recognizable. It's like, so that's just so Jack Quaid. Like maybe they should have changed his hair, or maybe he should have changed his hair for the role. I don't know. He just looks like the same character on all the roles he's seeing, because he even has a movie coming up called Novocaine. No shade, he looks like Huey again. Like he looks like Huey there, he looks like Huey here. I think it should be a physical transformation a little bit into the character a little more, and he just is just him, and he doesn't really do anything to kind of change the way he looks or appears or seems. So to me, I kept getting Huey, and I kept thinking about Huey. He was acting fine, I just kept thinking about Huey, and I didn't like that. But I also didn't like his character, and I feel like that might be another issue. Like his character just wasn't written well, in my opinion. Even though he acted it out fine, I just didn't understand. And then why did he start torturing her at the end? It just I don't know. I don't get it, because at the beginning he was like, I just want to tell her goodbye. I want to tell her goodbye so bad. So he's keeping her alive to tell her goodbye. Then she starts attacking them. And he's like, oh shit, we got to shut her down. I just want to shut her down. Don't worry. All I wanted was the money. We had a plan. I just want to shut her down. Don't worry. And then by the end of the movie, he's torturing her. Why? How? I don't get it. Like, she didn't even do anything throughout the movie that, like, I don't know. And then Kat was finna leave, and he was like, stop her from leaving. And then he started manipulating Patrick, the robot, and Patrick killed Kat, and he just didn't care. But he wanted to say goodbye earlier to Iris because he cared so much about her. It's like, does he actually care, or does he never really care? And did he just keep Iris alive to also kill Kat? But then when Patrick killed Kat, he was mad at Patrick for killing Kat. It's like, why'd you do that? Now we got a bigger problem on our hands. So it's like, what the fuck does this guy want? I don't get it. Does he want the money? Does he want to kill people? Does he want to torture Iris? Does he hate robots? Does he love them? Why doesn't he just call the cops? And it's because he wants the money. So it's like, is the only motivation for him doing all of this, letting his friends die, not shutting down Iris, manipulating Patrick, and making him his new slave, even though Iris was just a slave who was killing everybody. And then it doesn't make sense because they're killing people. So if you're a logical human, he's clearly not a logical human, but why would you? It doesn't make sense that he would not shut either of them down, knowing they're killing everyone. The entire movie, he wasn't shutting them down. I was like, shut them niggas down. And he wasn't doing it. And it doesn't make sense. They're murdering people. It literally does not make sense. His motivation isn't strong enough to equate to him not shutting them down. I don't get it. You could get the money and shut them down. So if the only motivation is the money, there's no reason to not shut them down, especially when he had them at the house. It didn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. You could have took half of that money, locked the safe up, and called the cops. They're not going to do shit. They're going to be like, oh, fuck, these two fucking things killed everybody, which they did. You didn't kill anybody. You didn't do it. Well, you modified them. That's your motherfucking problem. Why are you modifying? And then why are you doing that? That was a part of the plan to get the money. I get that. But, like, I don't know. It's just past that. His intention just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. Now, the only character I felt like was actually fun and a little bit funny, I still didn't laugh out loud, no shade, not a chuckle, still straight face. But Harvey, his character, him and Patrick, I feel like they were my favorite part of the movie because Harvey was kind of funny. Patrick was really cool. I feel like their relationship actually felt real. And then when they had that moment in the forest where they broke down and he was like, I know I'm an AI. And he's like, but I still love you. And Harvey's like, oh my God, you still love me as a robot? He's like, I still love you as a robot. A robot loves you. And they were like in love. I was like, this is the most endearing part of the movie. This is the most depth we got from any character other than Iris, the entire fucking movie. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cute. Boom, then they die. Well, then Harvey dies. I'm like, well, fuck. That was the only part of the movie I was like, okay, this is actually interesting. Maybe like them two can maybe survive. Because once again, if I'm watching a horror movie, the person I want to survive is the person that I enjoy the most. The person who I feel like is the most, redeemable. Of course, that ends up being Iris. And of course, Iris ends up surviving. So I get that. But the issue is that Iris and Patrick are the ones kind of killing. At first, Iris is the one killing people, and then Patrick is, and you realize it's really Josh, but Josh isn't killing anyone himself. So I just feel like for me, if most of the people dying, I don't give a fuck about until I care about Harvey, it's like nothing is endearing because I never was afraid for Iris's life. Iris is a robot. So even if she quotations died, I'm like, she's just a robot. She could just re-get programmed. So there's no real fear of my fave dying, or there's no really concern for the person who I want to live. I want them to live so bad. I knew Iris was going to live. Duh. So the only human that I would have felt that was Harvey. And then he died 2 seconds after I even give a fuck about his character, because I didn't give a fuck about him prior to that. Girl, it was just a no for me. I'm sorry. That's just how I felt. I'm sorry. Kat's character already said she had no fucking real motivation. I get it. She wants her boy. And that's the thing. I kind of liked her perspective more, but they just dropped her character. She was, as soon as they explain, not even as soon as they explain, as after Iris knew she was an AI, from that realization on, Kat was fucking nobody. Why did they make her character this big? Oh, she has beef with Iris and she doesn't like her. Iris didn't even try to kill Kat. Iris didn't even care about Kat. Kat wasn't doing anything, just following them around in the woods. She didn't seem like she had any of her own motivation. And then her character just went away and then she died. I was like, what the fuck was that? Who was that? She might as well just not have been here. Like, her only connection to the storyline was the fact that she was a part of the plan. That's it. I don't know. I hated it. I hated it. They were all so unconcerned. Harvey not calling the cops doesn't make sense. It's almost like, is this a parody? Or is this a wacky version? Like, what is this? Because how could I believe? And that's the thing. I'm probably taking it too seriously. And that's the issue. It's supposed to just be, girl, they're just doing whatever. But it's not doing whatever enough, because they're trying to make you care a little bit about Iris, and they're trying to make you confused. And this is a twist here, and this is a turn here. I feel like they're doing too much of that if they wanted it to be so wacky and silly. Like, I feel like they should have just went full blown wacky and had somebody come back to life. Oh, you thought I was dead? I'm not dead. Like, stuff like that. I feel like if you're going to do that, go all the way. I kind of just felt like, once again, they're in this middle area, and it's not a Goldilocks zone. It's a stay away zone. You need to either go all the way wacky and camp, because this wants to be camp so bad. But for me, it's not camp. It's not camp. Even like when she killed Sergi, it was supposed to be like, it felt like a wacky like murder scene where he hit her and then she hit her. It's like, I'm not scared of this. This seems so kooky and funny to me. And then she should have killed him because he was trying to aggress himself on top of her. So I just feel like no moment in the movie did it seem like they wanted me to just find this wacky, because they kept embedding important aspects within it. Sergi was trying to R-word her, so she killed him. So I'm not like wackified by this. And then when you find out that homeboy is controlling them and he's just the one trying to do all of this, it feels serious. You're upset about it. So I can't get all the way camp, because every time there's a moment that's camp, I'm like actually invested in the fact that, ew, I don't like you, or what she's doing is right. And those are the only times that I feel like things like that are happening. But I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed because every time they try to go camp, they don't go full camp, and they stop themselves and they start embedding serious topics in these camp moments. So then it's like, oh, you're not camp. You're a regular movie. But then when you start viewing it as a regular movie, you're like, wait, none of their motivations make sense. All of the characters are weakly written. And then we're just at the end of the movie and all we care about is Iris. So then you're like, oh, we're supposed to think of it in a camp way. But then when you go back to thinking of it in a camp way, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't camp enough. That's the problem. At least I have. I don't like it, but we move. Those are my thoughts on the movie. I can't even keep going anymore because I'm starting to get confused. What the fuck was that? Didn't like it. If you loved it, please comment and explain to me why you loved it, because I don't know. And I don't get it. Sorry. I read some of the Letterboxd reviews, and even the people who said they liked it, they kind of just explain like, oh, this was fun, and he did it again. Zach Cregger, they're like, he did it again. This is another fun, fresh, cute movie. This is such a fresh, fun thing. Like, I need some information. What do you think about it? Was it the plot? Was it the characters? Was it the idea? Why was it fun? How fun? Because I don't know. Please comment. Thank you. Now, let me get into my recommendations, child, because this was the most difficult recommendations I've had to do so far. I'm struggling with them, no shade, because I don't have a big movie palette. But this movie, because I didn't like it, I don't even know what to do, because my categories are: give it to me again if you like the movie, give it to me a little different if you like the movie but you wanted it in another font, and then give me something else if you didn't like the movie but you're trying to get into the genre, or we're staying in this genre. How the fuck can I do that? Well, I do the one if you didn't like the movie, because I didn't like the movie. But it's hard for me to do the other two because I'm like, I didn't fucking like the movie. I don't even want it again. But I guess and this is what I did. I put myself in this perspective because it applies to me this time. I need to be recommended something else because I don't know what the fuck this is. So the best thing I was able to do was go to Google and look up some articles of movies similar to this. And one of the other issues I was having is I haven't seen any of the movies that are similar to this movie really ever. I have not watched an AI movie since I was a toddler, and I watched The Terminator, which I don't remember. So even that movie wasn't helpful because I don't remember that movie. I just had to Google and read through reviews to see what people were suggesting is similar to this movie or similar enough. Like I said, I feel like the concept that was pushed on the trailer is like Misery, the movie the Stephen King book made into a movie. I feel like that was the concept on the trailer, but that's not what the actual movie was. So when you get into the actual movie, it's kind of like AIs are becoming conscious. That's a big topic. The romance part is a big topic. Then I guess you kind of just have to look at those two ideas and try to find something from there, because I don't know. So these recommendations are from Google and reviews and articles. So if they're not eating, I don't know, I'm gonna have to watch them too, because I don't like this movie. So I'm like, okay, these are some that I can watch that are similar to where I can kind of get a better understanding. So for if you like Companion, you should watch Ex Machina. I've never seen Ex Machina, but according to Google, you should watch it. And from what I saw, what I read, it is about this, like, I guess, attractive or beautiful AI machine. And she meets someone else, and the person who's interacting with the AI starts noticing that the AI is some wacky things, bitch, doing some crazy things. And I think it gets a little heated. So that is similar to this movie in a way. You know, she's an AI, she starts killing people. I think that's what Ex Machina is, but I don't know because I've never seen it. So I guess if you like this movie, watch that. That was the only thing that I kept seeing people say was comparable to this in any way, because I guess this movie just isn't that comparable since it has so many different things going on. So give it to me in a different font. Bitch, I just chose this because, like I said, I don't know. But give it to me in a different font. I said just watch The Terminator. I haven't seen The Terminator in a long time, but I know from The Terminator, it's about this robot man. He come back from the future and start killing people. So, and it's considered horror sometimes. So get into that. It's similar, kinda. I don't know. This one was hard. Now, give me something else. If you didn't like this movie like me, watch Barbarian. And the reason I say this is Barbarian is made by the same team that made this movie. Zach Cregger and his people made Barbarian, and Zach Cregger was a heavy hand behind this movie alongside the director Drew Hancock. So you should watch Barbarian because that's kind of like their other horror movie that stars, I think, another woman. Like, so I think it has similar themes, similar ideas, but it's a different story, same director, and still horror. So for me, that's what I want to watch after watching this, because I didn't like this, but I heard so many good things about that. So again, if you liked Companion, watch Ex Machina. If you liked Companion, but you want something a little bit different, watch The Terminator. And if you didn't like Companion, but we're in the same genre, you should watch Barbarian. Okay? Get into those. Now, everyone else, please, please, please recommend what I should watch. What should people who didn't like this movie watch? What should people who love this movie watch? Because I was struggling to even find some of these options that I found. So please comment below what you think we should watch for this movie. And get into the rest of the podcast coming up. I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up podcast very, very soon. And then every weekend, I'm going to be posting a new movie that I watch of that weekend. There's a lot of new movies coming out in February, so definitely stay tuned for all of the other podcasts for those movies. And thank you for tuning the fuck in, bitch. I'm out for now. Bye.